What's going on, guys? JayDYGO, and today we're back with the second episode of Match Report. I got some good feedback on the first one, and yeah, for the second one, we're gonna go over during the day I went undefeated, my round 5 matchup against my friend Kevin, who was on Swordsoul, and Kevin was actually super nice enough to hop on Dueling Book with me and help me out with this video. Kevin, you want to say hey?
Hey guys, how's it going?
This is going to be our third time doing this video because me and Kevin kept fucking up, and it's hard to remember exactly what that was, like, that we had that day. After a long day of dueling, it was our last match, so trying to remember everything is, like, really rough, especially when we're doing this, like, a few days later.
Yeah, it was a long day, you know?
Yeah,
it was a long day, and it's a couple days later. We both work, right? We work full time, trying to make a living, y'all.
So yeah, please excuse us if we like mess up or we like fumble around. We're also really bad at Dueling Book too, so like we don't know where to click, and sometimes it's messing up on us.
Oh god, yeah.
But going over the day, I'm at currently 4-0. Kevin is 3-1. He's like gonna dethrone me pretty much. I actually lose the die roll, so I'm already super nervous. Opening hand for me was 2 Imperms, Foolish, Pixies, and Beaver. Sitting there thinking, yeah, this might be really good if I went first, and I'm just praying that 2 Imperms helped me out. Kevin, what was your opening hand?
My opening hand was Ashuna, Dark Ruler No More, Heavenly Dragon Circle, Ecclesia, and Vishuda.
Solid. Okay. So, yeah. So you won the die roll. You went first. Show me your line of play.
Gosh, we were talking about it just a second ago. I think I just fire off the rip. I just go Ecclesia. I say, you know what? I'm playing disrespectfully, right?
Yeah,
I'm playing disrespectfully.
I'm sitting here like, dude, I wish I had Ash. Or if you had Ash, you had called by it. Or if I Ash, you had called by. I was like so nervous.
Yeah, so I fired off the rip, and so I go straight into Moye. Dueling Book Pro, by the way.
Yeah.
Go here, because you always put it in the middle. You always put it in the middle.
Yep, and I dropped the Imperm. What did you reveal again?
I revealed, I think this time around, I showed you the Ashuna.
Okay.
I think that's what I showed off. And I see you throw down the Imperm, and so I go ahead and activate Circle.
And I thought that was just... I did not know he ran this in the deck. Like, I didn't play it in mine. I know a lot of other people played it, but I didn't see a point to this card. But yeah, this coming out was honestly clutch, so definitely made a point here. So my Imperm is just unfortunately not going to be useful here. And yeah, so Tribute Moye makes a token still, and you added what again?
I added Long Wan.
Man, that's such a good...
Let me go ahead and grab it.
Just like tribute a worm monster, you add a worm monster to hand. Like, what? So
pretty good card.
Add Long One, and what was your discard?
I think it just went ahead and I got rid of the Ashuna. That made the most sense to me. So let me throw that in there. And then I made another token.
2 tokens now on field, and that's already pretty rough for me. So I was more worried he was going into the Sovereign Supreme, the one that burns for 12, because then I'd be like losing way more life points than I should.
Yeah, that's a pretty good card. My thought process was, because I'm going first, and because it is like game 1, we haven't really sided at this point, so I was just like, I'm just gonna play it safe. You know, I'm just gonna throw down a Baron, call it a day. I think that's looking pretty good right there. And then to sort of psych out my opponent, I ended up just setting my Dark Ruler just to make them think that I have the Blackout. But obviously it's a Dark Ruler. The reason why I did that, my thought process was because I searched the Long One, so making them think I already had it in my hand. That's all. That was my thought process behind that. But that was my end board. I passed it over. Take it away.
Yeah. So before we continue the video, we're not going to keep up with life points because we keep messing up. So if we have to come back and do the video, it's going to be a lot easier. So Kevin, let's go over your plays. Why didn't you special the Ashuna first and make Monk?
That's a great question. I'm fairly new to this deck, so you let me borrow your deck not too long ago. I fell in love with Swordsoul. I had to pick up my own deck. As you can see, I tweaked it a little bit to my own little spice with the circle, but I'm still learning the deck. I just felt like that was the correct play to do at that point in the day. Obviously, I could have fired it off, went with like a safer sort of monk play, but I was playing a little bit disrespectfully. I was like, hey, I got the circle. I want to take advantage of it. You know, it's in the main deck for a reason. Let's try it out.
Fair.
That was my thought process.
And so, question here. I see you pitched the Ashuna. Do you run the blue one, right?
I do. I do run the blue guy.
So you could have essentially ended up with a Chi Xiao here as well, correct?
Yeah, I could have. We don't talk about it, right? Similar to the deck. I will make mistakes, right? Like, again, I'm not a pro. Don't look to me to be a pro. But that, as you said, I could have ended on something pretty spicier. I agree.
But yeah, this is what these videos are for. It's a good look back at what we could have done, how we played, and I think it's just a good learning experience. So I think it's why I like doing these types of videos. But yeah, so that was it for your turn. I still fully believe this was Dark Ruler, or not Dark Ruler. This was Blackout. This whole my entire time until he flipped it on me. But yeah, let's just go on to my turn. So draw. I actually did not draw in the Deep Sea Diva. We're gonna put that back. I drew into, unfortunately, Dupe Frog, since it just wasn't very helpful. Of course, I didn't have a way to like really get rid of it. If I can find Dupe Frog there, I'll add it to hand. So yeah, Dupe Frog in hand. In standby phase, I actually go ahead and just drop the Imperm on the Baron. That way I won't have to worry about it omnigating on anything on my turn. And I was at first thinking, what if he had anything to tag out into on my turn, but unfortunately he didn't. Like if he had somehow gotten Scythe in the graveyard, that would have been scary, like 100%, but I would have just dropped this on the Scythe instead. But yeah, so let's move on. We go main phase 1. And here I actually am thinking, okay, I should be set. Unless he had Ash in hand, this would be the one thing that would really hurt, but luckily I opened Beaver as well. We fire off the Foolish Burial. No responses here. We go Foolish Burial to dump the Angler, which was like a last minute addition before I left the house to run the Beaver, the Nimble package. And I'm honestly so happy I did. I think it literally came up every game. But yeah, so we go Angler effect here, Angler to summon out the 2 Beavers. And again, apologize guys if we seem really clunky at Dueling Book. We only play real cardboard because I can't sit long enough to do Dueling Book unless I'm like touching cards.
Might I add here, the Foolish Burial into 2 Nimble Beavers was disgusting.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's not like letting me do it. Yeah, I honestly, like, for the longest time, I gotta apologize. I was slandering Nimble Beaver. I was like, man, it's not good till, you know, Cheerlements does more stuff. But I'm running the Diva line and the Nimble package, and both have come up and just saved my ass every time, because if they stop Foolish Burial, I'll just normal summon the Beaver and do it anyway. So that's, I was pretty happy with that. So yeah, I overlaid the 2 Beavers into Gigantic. Just went ahead and went Gigantic to detach, and then we summoned from deck the Swap Frog. Mainly because I wanted to get out the Omnigate, or the Totally Awesome now, or get an Omnigate set up and to recycle some of my water stuff. Swap, of course, send Swap Frog here. I always send Swap Frog first. I just feel like when people shotgun DD Crow or they just drop a DD Crow, I'm not gonna let them take it back. I was like, what do you want to hit? And they'll have to say Swap Frog because they messed up. But yeah, we go ahead and just link these 2 off here, and we go into Elf. We go Elf to target the Swap Frog in grave, special it back. Swap Frog then sends from deck the Ronin Totem. Then Ronin Totem is going to then banish the Swap Frog, summon itself back. And right here, I did wonder if he didn't have Blackout or he waited too long. So I pretty much had to get into Elf as fast as I can because Blackout, I believe, targets. So he can't hit the Swap Frog or the Ronin Totem anymore, and I was set to just kind of keep going and set up other lines. And I think I made the right move there. I went ahead and just overlaid these 2 for the Ronin to the Totally Awesome. And that way I set up an Omnigate. Here I had enough gas to go ahead. Of course, normal summon Nimble Beaver. Stupidly unfair. Just to bring back one of these guys. Yeah, kind of over the top here, but it's so nice to be able to just do it again. We put these 2 together, and then I went into a Cat Shark here, not thinking fully ahead that I don't have OTK, my plan was to just push for some damage and hopefully that'd be enough. And yeah, I feel like pretty much technically 2 Omnigates on his turn would stop his deck. So yeah, Cat Shark, detach, bump Totally Awesome to 4,400, and we enter battle. We go Cat Shark into the token, which destroys it because the token has 0 attack, 0 defense. Totally Awesome with 44 into the Baron, hit him with that nice 14, and then 14 directly with the Elf, so he's down to, God, I can't do math. He's down 28, so he's at 52 right now, I believe. And I didn't do Pixies here because I wanted to hold it off since I had to leave Cat Shark on field. Dupe Frog in hand was a little bit unfortunate, but yeah, we just passed back to Kevin here with this board. And yeah, the reason I did this was because I believe 2 Omni Negates was going to be more than enough. All right, so Kevin, what was your draw?
My draw, again, I was telling you, it was a pretty good draw. I drew Emergence for the turn.
There you go.
So before I did anything crazy, I fired off the Dark Ruler. I see your board. You know, I just
told me to
get
go
rid
fuck
of
myself.
your stuff. Yeah, pretty much. That's how I felt. You sauced on me, so I had to deliver some justice.
I honestly remember being so mad. I was like, oh, I wasn't mad, but I was like, I thought that was like blackout this whole time, man. Like, I didn't know what you had set.
And I think after it ended, like after Dark Ruler resolves, I think you ended up detaching from Cat Shark. I could be wrong. I just remember it happening before I fired off the Emergence. I was like, all right, cool. You got more resources in Grave. That's fine. So I felt pretty safe. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna Emergence. We're gonna say we ball.
Was it the Totally Awesome, or was it? I think I like just activated Totally Awesome just to get it off the field. Because
that might have been it.
It was because I feel like I left the Cat Shark on board for some reason, but I knew I needed to get the frogs back so I could get Ronin again.
The cat for sure stayed on the field. I think you ended up detaching, but I could be wrong. I don't remember. It was a long day, y'all.
It was a long day. It was a lot. Let's just go ahead and do that. So I activated Cat Shark. Its effect was going to be negated to Emergence. He didn't have anything there, so I went ahead and I actually just sent the Toad to Grave, just to do something, I guess. I know Totally Awesome definitely didn't survive on the board. But yeah, so we sent Totally Awesome just to get more stuff in Grave. And then resolving properly, Totally Awesome goes to Grave, Cat Shark gets nothing. And Emergence, what did you add?
I ended up adding another Moye. I just love Moye. Moye is such a good card, you know?
Moye goes hard.
Yes. So, ended up doing that. Revealed, did the shenanigans, made the token, did the thing.
But hold on, sorry. On a new chain, Totally Awesome and Grave added actually back the Nimble Beaver. Or, sorry, back to hand. That way I could have a follow-up on my turn here. But yes, so Moye comes out. Is that another Moye?
No, I just took the same Moye. I just went backwards because you're showing the thing.
Okay.
Then I went into Shishao, and then Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Chainlink 1, Shishao, Chainlink 2, Moye.
Got it.
So I drew into, I remember this specifically because I was like, there's nothing to do. I drew into a Harpies, which, by the way, great in the main deck. Came up against a whole bunch of decks today, or that day. So I drew into that.
Rest in peace, Trevor's Eldritch deck.
And then I got Long Wand. I was like, you know what? I'm just here to break boards, have a good time. I ended up pitching the Vishuda, special on him, and then obviously I made the token. Just speeding up the process.
That's okay, man. People wanted a longer video. Do it.
Then I made Chang Ying. This card, pretty good when it works. I could have played it a little bit better as we talked about it, and we'll talk about it in just a second. So I'm trying to remember who attacked what. I think
you definitely Yeah, Chisao definitely punched the elf, I believe, because you went Chin into the cat shark.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
this goes to
punched
grave.
And then
I remember I
dude-
was reading your Chin because I had to make sure if it was destroyed by battle, if you could protect it or not, and then trigger its effect. But it doesn't. It just if it's would be destroyed by card effects. So in damage calc, I did the funny, and then I dropped the pixies on you.
Filthy.
Yeah.
Filthy, by the way.
Very solid. That's why we run it. And so Chin doesn't stay on board that long, which is very good for me.
And on my end of things, we were talking about it earlier. I could have, with Chisao, did the activation negate, basically. And so when I go to banish using Chishao's effect, I could have activated Chenging's effect, but I didn't think about it. Again, long day. Hey, new to the deck, right? So we're learning things. So this went straight to the grave. I cried. I shed many tears regarding the situation, but it is what it is. Mm-hmm. And so I think it ended on that. And yeah, that was pretty filthy.
So the line of play, were you talking about? So yeah, he could have just negated something and just gone a board wipe pretty much on me, which was pretty filthy. I also, I think I did ask, like, when he made the Long Yun and the token, but Chisao on board, he could have Vashut it and sent something back right off the bat just to, like, get more of my board apart. But I think the other reason you said you didn't do that was because you were afraid I would just make Toad again when you could have, in your head, could have done the banish the totally awesome with, and then something on board of Chin.
For sure. Yeah, looking back, I could have taken more advantage of the graveyard with the Tenyis. Again, it's one of those things where I have to remind myself that that is a resource and that, you know, I should definitely be looking in there, seeing if I can do anything, especially when like the tokens or the link ones out on the field. So again, just like reminding yourself that you have those resources, right?
But yeah, I mean, so, like, honestly, then that would have been, I think that would have been it for me, if he was able to pull that off. But I think I got lucky. I got Kevin on a tired day. But yeah,
stop.
So fast back to me. I just got to face a Chisao. So Cat Shark's still on board. We go standby, nothing, main phase. And in my head, I'm looking at my graveyard. I could definitely, my line was to go bring back the Swap Frog or the Rodent Totem, Link Climb, and push for extra damage, which is what my plan was. So I went ahead and I needed to bait something out. I went normal summon Nimble Beaver. This is where you Chishao'd right off the bat, banishing the Moye, I believe.
Yeah, I believe that was exactly what I did. So let me banish that bad boy, or bad girl. We don't discriminate.
Okay, and from here I was like, okay, that's perfect. That works out for me. My plan was to go. We went Ronin Totem, Ronin Totem, banish Swap Frog, summon itself back. We then linked off the Cat Shark and the Ronin Totem to make Elf. We then use Elf to how did I have enough gas to make Abramax and 2 sprites?
I don't know. You sauced on me. That's all I gotta say. That might have been the game 2 that you're thinking of with the Avra, but I know for sure you styled on me so hard on this crackback.
On the game 1, I Abramaxed and 2 gigantic sprites you because I only beat you with small sprites on game 2. Damn, I can't remember. Damn, dude, we suck.
We're doing great. We're doing great.
Maybe you didn't beat Cat Shark. Maybe you went into Elf, because Elf would have baited something and kept a body on board.
I think it was Elf that was still on board.
Okay.
So, now that I'm looking on it, yeah, I think it was Elf.
We're not gonna go back. Let's just backtrack. So Xiao or Chen Ying hit into the elf. I pixies him into the elf. Cat Shark got destroyed, so elf stayed on board. Okay, so let's go. Let's just move everything back. Sorry guys, it's been a long time. We gotta think. So elf stayed on board.
We're professionals, right?
Yeah,
this is what we do.
I'm gonna put elf this one back in the extra deck just to summon it back to a zone. This goes back to my hand. And okay, so this was pretty much the hand here. Elf was left on board. Xiao was on board. Xiao banished the Moye because I wanted to. I still think I normal summoned Beaver. I still think this was the line here. We go normal Beaver. I feel like you. No. Okay. No. Yeah. Sorry. We're gonna go back like 5 seconds. Okay. So fixing the board or the game state, he actually went Xiao into the shark, Chen Ying into elf, damage calc, pixies, elf stays on board. Resolving everything. It's back on my turn. Draw, standby, nothing. Main phase, I activated elf. He went ahead and then used Xiao to negate the elf, just so I didn't have the bodies to climb. And then I normal summon the beaver. Beaver resolves. I'm going to bring back a beaver. I can special it. Bring back a beaver, and then I banish the swap frog. It goes back first. I then use the crap. We use Ronin Totem, banish the swap frog. This comes back onto the field. Then I feel like I did a link into IP first. Then I linked, oops, not main phase 2. Link these two off because they stayed for Avram. And then, man, I can't remember what I did. Like, I had so much gas.
I think I'm trying to remember.
Oh, I drew into starter. That's what it was. Okay, yeah, so let's put this back. God, we suck at this video. Sorry guys, this video's all over the place. It's hard to remember. So if you guys are still sticking around, you guys enjoy watching us just fucking up and being goofballs, I really appreciate it. It's hard to remember every single thing. So yeah, that's what we did. Nimble Beaver into Nimble Beaver, bring back Ronin Totem a little too early. But I had to make Aver Max now because I didn't want to lock myself into rank 2s. So that's what I did. Starter, this makes more sense now. We go starter. He was like, sure, because he's got nothing. Starter, go into blue. And then I pay 11. And then blue is going to add jet. Yeah, this is what it was. Okay.
Yeah, this looks very familiar. I remember like looking at your board state at this point. I'm like, I'm just so dead. Like, there's nothing I can do at this point. Obviously I misplayed on my turn. I could have done a little bit more before Chen Ying left the board, but like, yeah, his board was sick. It was disgusting.
And this is, yeah, because we were talking about, like, I styled on him because I was being a little rude myself. So I went the blue and the jet and make gigantic Spright. And because I was so down in life, I actually did this. I flexed on him and summoned out the red resonator on him. And then I target the Avermax. After reading it, your opponent can't target this card of card effects, but you can, which is what we were like reading about, because I was like, I gotta try something out. So I upped myself by 3,000, whatever I was down at. And then I actually overlaid the Resonator and the Rodent Totem, and I made my third gigantic Spright, mainly because it's not a once per turn. So I went ahead and just made it. There we go. And yeah, so this is exactly what the board looked like. That makes more sense now. Drawing into starter, not diva. Again, sorry guys, videos all over the place. But yeah, we enter battle, Avermax into the Xiao, hit him for 28. Hit him for 3k, and then game. So about 6,400 damage on board right there. Cleans up the game pretty quick with all the damage. Be easier if we kept life points, sure, but... So that's going to actually wrap up the video for the day. Me and Kevin were super tired last night doing this video, and then we actually can't even remember our game 2. From the most of it, what we remember was he didn't open as well as he thought. He opened a rivalry and just, I think, one Tinny monster, made the monk, had rivalry, passed to me just sat on Monk and Rivalry for a while. So I got stuck doing Toad lines for a while. I was just making Swap Frog. I clashed into the Monk just to get it off field in case he had Blackout. And then I just sat there just waiting for, Rivalry to kind of hang around. It got to a point in the game where he had double Rivalry and the only thing I could get on the field was just small Spright monsters. I started climbing up with that, and then I ended up beating him with just like Elf, Gigantic, and a bunch of the small ones. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching this clusterfuck of a video. It's been all over the place, but thank you again, Kevin, for hopping on and doing this video with me. I'm gonna make sure we take more notes next time when I do these videos, but yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you later.